Kia ora everybody, my name's Tom Augustine. Welcome to Point of View. This is your monthly podcast where you can find out what's coming up in cinemas, on streaming, all the best coverage and discussion of these films and TV shows. We've got an awesome episode for you today. We've got two very, very wonderful people. Director Curtis Vowell and writer-actress Sophie Henderson are coming in to talk about their film Workmates, which premieres at Whānau Marama New Zealand International Film Festival, my favourite time of year, and it is a really, really wonderful film, so I cannot wait to dig into it. We're also going to be talking about what's coming up in cinemas and on streaming, and we've got a few goodies to give away as well, so stay tuned. That's all good?
Yeah.
Okay.
First podcast.
Yeah.
Never done one.
First podcast.
Friday.
We waited for this one.
This is the one.
This is the one.
Curtis Vowell and Sophie Henderson, the filmmaker duo behind one of my favourite New Zealand films of the year, Workmates. I've got my quote up on the poster. That's how much I love this film. I'm very, very excited to have you guys in the studio to talk about it. It premieres in the mighty Civic Theatre for Whānau Marama New Zealand International Film Festival. What day is that? 1st of August?
1st of August.
1st of August.
It's selling out.
They're selling out?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. How
I
good.
know.
How good.
Yeah.
Welcome. Thank you for coming
Hey,
in.
Tom.
I'm very happy to have you guys here.
Thanks for having us. So nice to see you.
So let's talk about this film. So to start, why don't you guys tell me about the genesis of the project? Where did the story come from?
Yeah. I used to run the Basement Theatre
Me.
in Auckland, which is a tiny brick theatre at the back of the car park behind Q Theatre and the Kiri Te Kanoa. And I was part of the team of people who set it up. And I did that for 5 years, and I had the best time just making theatre for no money with my friends. And I wanted to capture like a really special time in my life. And I got the idea to do it when in the really long lockdown.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is my time.
Because all the theatres were closed around
Yeah, and it
Auckland.
was a pretty fraught time as well, right? Yeah.
And so we had the idea of going, well, these theatres are closed, let's just jump in there with a couple of cameras and try and make something.
Fantastic.
And that was really where the idea came from.
Yeah. And all the theatres got shut down. All my friends in the theatre world lost their jobs. A play I was doing got cancelled.
Yeah.
And I was like, all the theatres were on their knees and dark. And I was like, I really want to write like a love letter to theatre. And it's theatre still hasn't recovered, I don't think.
Yeah, no.
And so we were just going to shoot it on iPhones. I was
Really?
playing
Yeah.
myself, and
Love
Sam, who's our producer, was going to play himself because he was who I worked with and ran the basement
Really?
with.
Wow.
Yeah, we just wanted it to be as authentic and real as possible. It was literally just going to be me and someone else, grab a couple of cameras, and we pitched that to the film commission, and they came back and were like, hey, we think you can turn this into something
Yeah.
bigger.
Yeah, right.
There's a real story in here. And so we went away, and Soph went away and wrote, I didn't write it. Soph went away and developed it from there. We went in, it was a wee while later before we actually went and got the funding and
Yeah, right.
got to make it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, obviously it's a very wonderful romance and a coming of age story of a kind. But one of the things that is very powerful about it is the kind of way that it represents the theatre community in Auckland, and the fact that the basement is kind of woven in and is a cliche, but it's like a character in the story and that kind of thing. So was there like a full buy-in with all the theatre community when you sort of started working on the project?
Was pretty special.
We always knew we were going to shoot at the basement. Like, we didn't have a film if we couldn't shoot there.
Yeah.
And they came on board pretty early.
That was a deal breaker, wasn't it? Because
Yeah.
there was a time when we were like, we could film somewhere else, and we're like, no, it has to be.
It has to be basement. We have to shoot
Lower
it in
Grey's Ave.
January when they're dark.
Yeah.
And we wanted to call it the Basement for ages as well.
Really?
So like we had to change the name, but
Yeah.
they did give us the venue free and have been so supportive.
That's so good.
But not just them.
Everyone in the whole theatre world.
Because we, without giving it away, got to film not just at the basement, but
Yeah.
at the Aotea in the
Kiri Te Kanoa.
Kiritakanawa
Centre.
and the St. James, the beautiful
Yeah.
old St. James.
I mean, that's a very, very special moment in the film. So you guys managed to get inside the St.
somehow.
James.
Thank you, Chloe Swarbrick.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Well, can you tell us a bit about the process or what it was like getting in there?
The first day we went to shoot there, we had to stop because it wasn't safe enough. Because some of the crew were like, "There's like black
We found
mold there,"
mushrooms on the
and we didn't have the right masks for the crew.
Yeah,
Wow.
we didn't
So-
realise quite how dangerous it was.
Yeah.
So we were like, let's just
We got
put a hold on it.
shut down on it.
No way, really?
And then we came back, and then they had to go. Actually, like, let's get some really good
Yeah.
masks. Everyone had to.
And we
Meanwhile, me and Matt,
You
no
weren't wearing masks, sitting
masks
on the
at all.
ground. And...
Like,
no, but we had
it is dangerous.
we had a health and safety officer, and it was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
we didn't do it until everyone was happy, and we literally the whole sequence was about an hour and a bit all up.
Okay.
And the lighting team would go in and they'd put a light, and then they'd go out get some fresh air, and
Yeah.
it was. And then the actors would go in and sit down, quickly shoot the scene, and then we'd all had like little 10-minute breaks because
Yeah.
it was pretty
Interesting.
damp in there. Yeah,
Wow.
but it's a beautiful, but and
It's a very special
Beautiful,
moment in the
special
film,
space.
and it has this you feel like you're in a hallowed space within the fabric of the film. So
And
That's
they're
still
all
just sitting there
they're
down
all
Queen
really
Street.
walking distance, the
Yeah,
basement,
they're all just-
Kiritakanawa, St. James.
Well, this is
and
one
we'll
of
just walk to the Civic and do our premiere.
100%. This is one of the things I love about the film festival this year is that they've got the Sky City, they've got the Academy, they've got the Civic, and it's just this nice little triangle of
cool.
spaces that
It's
you can go to.
such a dream to do it at the Civic.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Auckland Live. So Auckland Live gave us their theatre free as well. They gave us a lot of gear.
Fantastic.
Like one of their, I don't want to call them a techie. That's just what we called it when I went to the basement.
House tech.
They get the house tech is
Yeah.
in the movie. It's really cool.
And the technical equipment does play
that's
quite a
theirs.
big part of the film.
Yeah.
Like the
doesn't it?
big desk. They
Yeah.
just were like, yeah, take it.
And also that idea of like the big theatre helping out the little theatre.
Yeah,
That's
it's so
true.
good.
Yeah, that goes on all the
That really
time.
goes on with Auckland Live. And Q Theatre was always helping us out at basement.
So all those subtle little things. That's why it's like a love story to
Yeah.
theatre and its
Yeah.
community.
Well, it's premiering at the Civic, which is obviously like the big crown jewel.
It's a dream.
And talking to you before, I know that this is a very big deal for you.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about what it means to you to be able to play at the Civic?
It's my favourite theatre in the world. It makes me want to cry. I'm like, it's so
it's
cool.
such a special place, isn't it?
And like to be able to share it with all the cast and crew, like a world premiere in New Zealand with the community we made it for. Yeah, it's so special.
I took the
Yeah.
girls the other day to the
Wharanui Harako.
Wharanui Harako, which was in
wow.
the Civic, and you're allowed to go up on the stage, and I just turned around and saw like 2,500 seats and
Empty.
thought,
Oh my goodness.
but I just thought, oh my god, in a couple of weeks we're going to be able to screen Workmates on this
So
giant
good.
screen in
It's
front of
so
It is
so many
such a
people.
massive
And it's like,
screen.
yeah.
Let's get it sold out.
That's the aim.
I wanted to talk to you about, because obviously this is a film which has a lot of different moods. It goes from very funny to very sad to very serious, and then back to funny, and it works its way through. And the tone, the way you manage the tone throughout, is very, very strong. And how did you kind of dive into some of the heavier aspects while maintaining this kind of lightness that's all the way through the film?
Yeah, good question. I think it is a delicate path that you have to tread. But what I would say, it was always there in the script from the start, in Sophie's script, and
I don't know if that's true.
definitely, it was definitely. If it's not there at the start, you're never going to keep it there by the end.
Right.
And we just had constant discussions right throughout the shoot.
Yeah, we
And
talk about tone heaps.
It's all we
Yes.
talk about. And you're right, it is.
Can't muck around with tone.
No, because if you do, you start to get pretty wild. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's certain scenes where we knew that we needed both comedy and drama just hitting at the same time, and you kind of want the audience to be traumatized, but then slowly work themselves out of that through comedy. And but tonally it's probably the most difficult film we've made, where
Yeah.
we've had to tread that line the whole way through, dealing with heavy issues and then trying to
Still bring the romance
deliberately.
and the comedy.
But it was really deliberate, like the turning point in the film where it gets darker.
Yeah.
We want, like, my goal with the script, and then again on the day was like, we want the audience laughing until they're
Until it's
not,
not
and then
funny,
they feel sick about laughing, and then they laugh again as a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's all rooted in character, right? Like that scene that people will discover and they watch, afterwards, even in the reaction, and there's the big check and the dealing with this big physical prop adds to this kind of. There's a little bit of like bleak comedy in there that really is. I feel like it's rooted in character and also rooted in your performance. And this is your first kind of cinema big screen film role since Human Traces?
Yeah.
Is that right? And what was it like, kind of diving back into this world? As well as writing the film.
I know. I keep being like, I'm retired from acting, that's it. And I have.
Keeps going, never again.
I was like, I hadn't acted for I did do a play just before we did this movie.
Right, yeah.
In a way, though, is it quite freeing to just be like, this is just a one-time thing?
It's not a career for me at all.
Okay.
It was like part of the... Yeah, because the character is so heavily based on me, it just made sense for me to play it. And I honestly was trying to play her as close to myself as possible.
Yeah.
Like that was, and me and Matt were like, let's just try and be really close to ourselves. Like Curtis didn't want to see any acting, and that's. Which is actually incredibly hard.
Yeah,
I can imagine, right? Like bringing like some level of yourself into something that's going to be put out on the civic screen, among other places.
What do you always say, Soph? You always make it sound so easy when you try to describe what acting is.
This is my acting process. You ready?
This is acting.
This is acting. I trick myself. I can't even remember it now. I got to get it right. Got to get it right for the podcast. Trick myself into it being real.
Yeah.
That's it.
Trick yourself into it being real. And you just...
No, that's not what I say.
Into everything around you is real.
You've got to trick yourself into making it feel real.
I love that. Yeah. That's fantastic. It's like the extras segment with Ian McKellen. Did you ever see that?
So Ian, you shall not pass. So Ian.
Yeah.
And
that's
exactly. In a way,
it kind of makes sense, right? Yeah.
I don't have any other process.
Oh, well, listen, it works.
The craftless acting technique.
Yeah. You also have,
maybe that's the craft. I don't know.
You also have a great cast of actors in here as well, like around you. Like obviously you have Matt Whalen, who has really, really great kind of interplay and chemistry with your character, but also lots of great kind of local legends. Chris Parker and Kura and Milo and the team. So like.
Camerods.
Yes, 100%. Ala Green, yes.
Yeah.
So
Aki Munro.
was there this
Olivia
kind
Tennant.
of Olivia Tennant? Absolutely. Was there the sense of much like in the film, luring people in with the promise of like, this is about all of us, all of our theatre backgrounds?
Everyone said yes, didn't they? And we weren't paying very much. I would just call people up.
We
just called up our friends who were great actors, and they all said yes.
And people that had kind of been in and around the theatre at that time, or are just theatre lovers, and most of those people had been on stage at the basement.
We'd worked with everyone before.
Yeah, so it was just like getting your friends and putting on it was like putting on a theatre show, but we were able to film it.
There was a day where Chris Parker's doing his show when we were all there in the audience, and we were like, oh my god, like someone just gave us theatre kids a camera and $1 million to make a movie. It was so fun.
It was.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I'm so intrigued by the idea of like an iPhone version of the film.
Yeah.
Well, it would have been quite different.
We would have got great access.
But it was the same philosophy. Like it didn't change. We were like, let's just be yourself, put yourself in front of camera, and just we've got this great location, and maybe a similar storyline might have come out. But we love that kind of lo-fi look where it kind of feels like a bit rough around the edges. You know? And I still think Workmates has got that.
It's got a little bit of that, but in a way that's really subtle and really accomplished. I mean, and also it's interesting because it feels like a real accumulation of the work that you guys have done in the New Zealand scene for a while. Like not just theatre, but also starting with Fantail, Baby Done. It's almost like you've got a very serious film on one end, you've got a very funny film on the other side, and then you've got something.
This is in the middle. I
know. But which achieves something very powerful by the film's end. I really find the ending of this film very moving.
Cool.
And so
You said it was your favourite of all our films.
100%. 100%.
Favourite of our films? Okay.
Yeah, I would say so. Easily. I mean, not that the others are not ones, but I just think that this one is just like another level up, you know?
I guess we must have learned something from those other films.
Thank God.
I mean, I love the other two, though. I love Fantail. I think it's such a beautiful film. And Baby Done is so funny and so sweet, and it's really a showcase for Rose Matafeo as well.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to see you guys kind of building up and building up and building up. But as I say out there, it's my favourite New Zealand film from this year. So
he's on the poster. Tom's
made it
name is
onto
on
the
the poster.
poster.
Can't take that back.
I know. No, I'm not going to. I'm not going
This is the
to.
there
first
forever,
time we've
Tom.
seen it. And my name's not on the poster, but Tom's is.
But my name is on the poster. I'm riffing hard.
We love it.
I'm really, really excited for you guys. I also saw it's gone into the Melbourne International Film Festival,
Yes.
which is like the
Yeah.
big
Love those
Southern
guys.
Hemisphere festival, so that's really cool as well.
Yeah, that's cool. And it's gonna.
I've got a question for you.
Yeah, hit me.
How would you, because you said it before, you're like, it's kind of a comedy, a bit of romance,
Yeah.
a drama, like, how would you, if you had to define it as one genre, what do you reckon? 'Cause
Well,
I don't think I
Our
can do it.
cinephile friend will
Well,
tell us.
I also happened to write the note for the film festival program for this, and I think I actually called it a coming of age film, even though coming of age
It
is
is.
usually about someone who's like 17 or 16, but your character is a little bit older than that, but it's still feels
It
like
is.
a coming, and I think it's,
really
and I
smart.
also think I said dramedy as well, which is a bit of a cop out, but
No, it
I
works.
think this is an exemplar example of that. It's a real
Coming of age, that's
mix.
nice.
Yeah,
Of
it is.
people who have kind of outgrown a place and they need to move on. Yeah.
100%.
But I think
One
you
of my
can come
favourite
of age at any
modes.
age, can't you?
Oh, truly.
It is, and that's
Truly.
how I structured it, like her transformation and her growing up. Like
100%.
she's a character who wants to stay the same forever and nothing for to change, and
100%.
that's kind of her great flaw and her great romance.
Yes, I think it's something that I identify with myself, and it's very powerful. Yeah, and so it's funny, but then it's, as you say, all of a sudden it's funny, but then it shifts into something else. which
Okay,
is
we're
really
calling
nice.
it a coming of age from now on.
Yeah, coming of age film.
Tom
Coming of-
Augustine.
Tom Augustine. Yeah, you have to credit me every time you say it.
It's a coming of age
It's like
Tom
a
Augustine
trademark
film.
symbol. Well,
How's your film going?
the film
Do
is
your
coming
listeners
along.
know that you're an amazing
we
filmmaker
love you,
yourself?
Tom.
I would hope so. It's coming along. It's coming
Good.
along
Okay,
slowly
great.
but
Cannot wait.
A
surely.
full script.
cannot
We
wait.
shot earlier
I
this year.
love your writing.
Great.
I did send the script to these two, and they were very, very supportive. So
And we're here for it.
Oh man, it's so good.
I'm so excited to be able to support this film as well. So please get along, help us sell out the Civic Theatre, and then get along and see it in cinemas as well, which is later in August. Is that right?
21st of August is the general release in New Zealand. Come along to that. But August 1st, the Civic. We've got to sell it out.
yeah.
6:30 p.m. Get
August 15th, the Embassy.
along. At the Embassy in Wellington, which is an
Another
equally
big one.
beautiful cinema.
Such a
And-
strong film community down there. Surely they'll
Yeah.
be coming out.
Oh,
Well,
we're
that's
coming
it.
out with them.
Yeah, we'll be down to party with them as well.
Good on
And
you.
if you're a theatre kid, I'll tell you how to get into the after party.
Exactly.
Just come up
Fantastic.
to us.
Yeah, come
Bring
up
your
and say hi.
workmate.
Hey,
Yeah.
no, bring your workmates. Bring all your workmates.
Bring your workmates who you have a
This film
slightly.
is for people who
Who you slightly might have a little.
Maybe have a slight crush on, or
bring
there's
like
something.
10 workmates and
Yeah.
then that one won't know.
Yeah, and see what happens on the other side.
Have you ever had a work crush, Tom?
A work crush?
Yeah.
Who hasn't?
I mean, who hasn't? Right? Once upon a time.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Mine was Soph.
Yeah, mine was Curtis.
Oh, that's cute. That's a bit cute.
It's kind of true.
true.
Autobiographical.
Showman's full showman's.
On that happy note, please get along to Workmates, Sophie and Curtis. I'm so happy to have you guys in here.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for coming
Tom.
along.
Thank you, Tom.
Go and see it. Great film. Now, obviously, the big thing coming up in cinemas in August is Whānau Marama New Zealand International Film Festival. We will be diving into that separately, but I also just want to mention a few other films that are coming up in August to keep an eye out for. Now, the big one that everyone's got their eyes on, a lot of mystery and discussion around this one, is Weapons. It is from Zach Krieger, who created the very buzzy horror, modern horror classic Barbarian. This is his follow-up film. It looks like it's bigger and grander and a lot more of everything that we loved about that first film. coming up. We've got a really good cast in there, including Josh Brolin and Julia Garner, and a really, really interesting viral marketing campaign, which kind of seems to be following the long legs kind of model. So go and check out the trailers if you haven't already. It does look proper scary, so I'm excited for that one. We also have a long in the waiting sequel called Freakier Friday. Now, for millennials like me who remember the original Freaky Friday, it starred Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis. Wasn't the original actually, but it was the one that made waves in my day, and this one is the sequel bringing back the original stars. Whether or not they're going to pull it off is going to be interesting. It has been a long time since that first one came out. Whether they can pick up on that kind of long dormant sequel mania that people got into with Top Gun Maverick or even Twisters last year remains to be seen. Eddington is the new film from Ari Aster, who has created films like Hereditary, Midsommar, and Beau is Afraid most recently. Eddington is a little bit of a different kind of film for him. It's not a horror or anything like a horror. From the looks of it, it's more of like a social satire crossed with what they call a modern neo-western. Stars Joaquin Phoenix, and it's set during the COVID pandemic. Reviews have been very mixed about this, very divisive, and I imagine that's probably just going to continue. Now, the first time you can actually see this film is at Whanau Matamata New Zealand Film Festival, but if you don't get a chance to see it then, it will be coming out quite soon afterwards as well. The Naked Gun. Now, I'm quite excited for this one. For those of you who remember, The Naked Gun is the spoof series that originally starred Leslie Nielsen back in the day. Very, very funny series. Very, very much my humour. That kind of goofy spoof kind of storytelling, which riffs on classic cop movies. This one picks up from that series, and it's cast Liam Neeson in the role of Frank Drebin. Now, for those of you who don't remember, Leslie Nielsen was actually a serious actor before he was cast in the film as a comedic actor, and that was part of what made it so funny. And I think they're trying for something similar here. Word on the street is that it's very funny. It also stars Pamela Anderson, and apparently she's very good in that. It comes from the team who are involved with Lonely Island as well, so that's good pedigree. We've also got The Shorunds. Now, this one is also showing at the New Zealand Film Festival. This one is the latest film from David Cronenberg. It's been a long time in the making, a long time coming here to New Zealand. I've had a chance to see The Shorunds. I really liked it. I think it's going to be quite divisive. It is very much Cronenberg in the late style era, so he's doing something a little bit quieter, a little bit slower, and definitely quite weird. Very talky film with a very, very heady, high concept idea at the centre, so be sure to check that out, even if it sounds like it might be a bit divisive. We've also got Caught Stealing. Now, this is an interesting left turn from Darren Aronofsky, who's known as a very kind of serious, overly serious, in my opinion, filmmaker. His last film was The Whale, which I thought was god-awful, but Caught Stealing looks pretty interesting, mostly because it stars Austin Butler, who's a really, really promising young actor. This one looks to be kind of a slightly comedic thriller. It's got a really strong cast, and it looks quite kind of muscular in terms of action and thrills. So it'll be interesting to see how Aronofsky works in this kind of area. We've also got another thriller coming out called Relay, which stars Riz Ahmed. Now, this one comes from the director of a film called Hell or High Water, which I really, really enjoyed a few years ago. This one is kind of like a modern-day techno thriller. It's got a really strong trailer, so I'm holding out hope for that one. We've also got Nobody 2, which is the sequel to the kind of unlikely action film which starred Bob Odenkirk of all people. The first one was kind of a fine John Wick ripoff. This one looks more of the same. If that's your kind of thing, I'm a big fan of Odenkirk, so I'll probably check it out. The Friend is a adaptation of a very, very beloved book about a woman who adopts a friend's dog after her friend passes, and it stars Naomi Watts, the great Naomi Watts. It also has Bill Murray in a supporting role. I'm quite interested to see how this one goes. At the very least, it looks like it has a very cute dog at the centre. Lastly, we have the Toxic Avenger. Now, this one has been a long time in the making as well. It stars Peter Dinklage as the iconic 80s gross-out hero, and it looks very gross, but also very kind of interesting in terms of being quite a low-budget superhero film, and a little bit punky and a little bit strange. So those are all coming up, as well as Whānau Marama, which is going to be taking up a lot of oxygen this month. So lots to see in the cinemas. So there's over 100 films showing at Whānau Marama New Zealand International Film Festival this month, and it's a really, really strong lineup. I am really, really impressed by the amount of titles that have come from big film festivals like Sundance and Cannes, but there's also a range of smaller films that you may not have picked up on or been aware of, but that are really worth checking out. Now, I'm going to be seeing about 30 films during the festival if I can stay awake, but I have a few picks that I think are just absolute must-sees. So these are my top 10 of the fest. So at the top, opening night, It Was Just an Accident. Now, this film is the Palme d'Or winner. Jafar Panahi is the wonderful filmmaker at the centre of this. Now, if you don't know the story of Jafar Panahi, he is a really, really interesting Iranian filmmaker. He was placed on house arrest for his politically minded films for a very, very long time, banned from making films. This is the first film that he's made since the ban was lifted. It looks really, really interesting, and his Palme d'Or has been a long time in the making. So really, really interested to see what that one has turned out to be. Now, Trenca Lauken is a film from Argentina. Now, this film is a whopping 4.5 hours long, so it's a very, very long film. But it is one that I think at the film festival, that's the time to go and see films that are really, really long. That is kind of part of the experience, and you're not going to get another chance to see this film in cinemas again in New Zealand, most likely for a very long time. Now, this was named by Cahiers de Cinema, which is the big French film magazine of note, as the greatest film of the 2020s so far. It is a mystery drama that has been likened to Twin Peaks. If you know me, Twin Peaks is a big deal for me, so this looks like it's right up my alley. It will be a long experience, but I think it is really, really worth checking out. Now, I also think it's really, really worth checking out every year the New Zealand Best Short Films. Now, the selection this year is a really big selection. There's about 12 short films across 2 programs, and it's a great way to see New Zealand filmmakers who are emerging, and to support them, and to keep an eye on who might be emerging in our field in the next little while. It's a really, really strong lineup this year, and I think every year it's worth going along and checking it out. So the New Zealand Best Shorts, totally worth making time for. The Mastermind comes to us from Kelly Reichardt, who is one of the great modern filmmakers. This one is a bit of an interesting left turn for her. It's a bit of a kind of lightweight heist movie. Stars Josh O'Connor from La Chimera and Challenges, and it looks like a lot of fun, which is kind of interesting for Kelly Reichardt because her films are usually a bit more sober-minded, but she's such a talented filmmaker. I think she can apply herself to any kind of genre, and it's probably going to be worth watching. Reedland is an interesting film. Now, this film comes from Europe. It showed at Cannes in a smaller side part of the festival, and a lot of word on the street was that it was actually one of the strongest films in the entire selection. It's slightly horror based. I don't know the nature of the horror, but I think it's going to be quite surreal, quite scary, but I don't want to give away too much about what it's about. I think it's worth just going in blind and checking it out. The Secret Agent is from the director of Bacurau from a couple of years ago. I don't know if any of you saw that, but it's a really, really wonderful Brazilian film from Clember Mendoca Filho. Sorry, I've completely mangled that name, but he is a really, really wonderful filmmaker. The Secret Agent is perhaps his biggest film yet, and it's one that stars Wagner Moura, who you may recognise from Narcos or Civil War, as the titular secret agent who the nature of his work is unknown, but he's on the run, and he goes to a small town to kind of hole up, and from there all sorts of strange things start to happen. Now, it's set during the revolution days of pre-revolution days of the 1970s Brazil, and and I've had a chance to see the film. I actually wrote the note for the program. Really, really wonderful film. I also wrote the note for a film called Magellan, which is by Lav Diaz, who's the Filipino filmmaker who makes what we call slow cinema. So his films are very meditative, very slow, very kind of, they take their time, and ultimately the feeling becomes very atmospheric and all about the emotion on the screen. Magellan is the story of Ferdinand Magellan, who was the one of the original kind of colonial explorers in Southeast Asia, and he kind of carved a path of blood through that period. He's a Portuguese explorer. He's played by Gael Garcia Bernal, and the film is very, very powerful, very beautiful, and very unromantic in the way that it treats this kind of colonial expansion of the time. Lav Diaz, really, really amazing filmmaker. This is quite possibly his most accessible work, so it's a really great intro to him if you haven't experienced his work before. Now, Predators is another film that I think is worth seeing. Now, this is a documentary. This one is about a really interesting subject. It's about the TV show To Catch a Predator, and about the grip that it had on the TV kind of watching psyche in the time that it was out and in the world. If you've never seen or heard of To Catch a Predator, basically it was a show that set up a kind of trap for potential predators and then caught them on camera. Very kind of ethically dubious, and the film kind of digs into that in a really, really fascinating way. It's a very deeply disturbing film, but I had a chance to watch this one, and it's very powerful as well. It left me quite shaken, and it's a really, really worth checking out documentary. Blue Moon is from the great Richard Linklater, who also has another film coming out called Nouvelle Vague this year. But Blue Moon, I think, is one of my favourite films of the year so far. It's quite a theatrical film. It's about a playwright who kind of faded into obscurity in the 1930s, played by Ethan Hawke in one of his best performances. It's very theatrical, the film. It's all set in like mostly one location, but somehow it works that to its advantage, and it becomes quite a sad film in the process. It's all about performance and the veneer of respectability and fakery and that kind of thing. But it's a very, very powerful film, and Ethan Hawke is just absolutely turning in a blinder in this one. He's doing amazing work. The last film I'm going to recommend is a film called Magic Farm. This one's from Amalia Ullman, who's a really, really great kind of up-and-coming filmmaker. This one is talking about her days working for Vice, making kind of these kind of grabby little BuzzFeedy kind of documentaries about interesting things happening out in the world, and it's about a group of camera people who are very kind of selfish and narrow-sighted, going to a small town in South America, looking for a big story that will become viral, and they're so kind of caught up in their own drama that they actually find out that they've gone to the wrong place. So it's quite funny. It's very interestingly shot. It's got Chloe Sevigny amongst other great cast members. It's a really, really great, very funny film from a really, really interesting filmmaker. That's just a few of some really amazing films. I highly recommend picking up the program and checking it out for Christmas for cinephiles in New Zealand. Quite a big month over on streaming. Here are my picks for what to keep an eye out for this month on streaming. Now, right at the top of the month, we have the long-awaited arrival of Chief of War. Now, this is the miniseries that stars Jason Momoa, shot right here in New Zealand as well as in Hawaii. It also stars New Zealand greats Temuera Morrison and Cliff Curtis. Looks like a very big, sweeping action epic. I'm quite excited for this one. The trailers have been actually quite promising. And it looks like a very, very solid, very muscular action thriller, historical action thriller, which looks like it's actually allowing Jason Momoa to kind of stretch his acting muscles as well, so that's good. We also have the return of King of the Hill, which is the beloved animated series. Now, what this is going to look like, I'm not entirely sure, but it is a revival of that beloved series that is probably worth keeping an eye out for if you're a fan of the original like I am. We have also the return of Wednesday. Now, this is the very buzzy Addams Family spin-off series starring Jenna Ortega, which has young viewers in its grip. It's incredibly popular series, and it'll be interesting to see if it can kind of keep the momentum up in the second season. We also have the new Alien series from Noah Hawley. Now, this one is going to be quite interesting because it's a mini-series that takes the Alien series in a new direction. It's from Noah Hawley, who made Fargo, the TV series, amongst other things. And he's quite an interesting kind of creative to be behind something like this. Has the well gone dry for Alien? We don't really know yet until we see what he's got in store. The trailers haven't necessarily been hugely promising, beyond the fact that they also star a very, very talented New Zealand actress named Edina James. But I will still be watching. Maybe it's just inertia, but I want to see an Alien spin-off that flourishes. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Now, the Thursday Murder Club. Now, this is a mystery series that's based on a very, very popular book series about a group of retirees in a retirement home who, for fun, solve mysteries until they get caught up in something very serious. It looks like a lot of fun, very frothy, very light kind of mystery adventure. For those of you who have read the book, you know what you're getting in for, something that's quite enjoyable, some nice kind of elder statesman actors, but it looks like a bit of fun. We also have the return of Peacemaker. Now, for those of you who have watched the new Superman film, you may, and apologies for spoilers, you may have seen a quick cameo from John Cena's Peacemaker that was part of the series that came out off the back of The Suicide Squad, James Gunn's The Suicide Squad a few years previous. Now, this is the return of that series. The series was quite well received, so it'll be interesting again to see if they keep the momentum up in this version. What a month we have in store for you in August on Rialto Channel. We have the premiere of a very special film called Godzilla -1. Now, if you're a Godzilla fan like myself, this is a very, very special film. This one has become something of a cult classic already. It is a Japanese iteration of Godzilla. Obviously, that is the birthplace of the original Godzilla film. And this one is a very kind of serious-minded take on the creature, very different from the American adaptations that you're seeing at the moment with Godzilla versus Kong and all those sorts of films. This one returns to the roots of Godzilla as a metaphor for atomic destruction. And as you can imagine, it's a lot more serious-minded, but it's still a great monster movie as well, with some really, really stunning visual effects made for a comparatively low budget to some of these big Hollywood blockbusters. So do check that out. You can also see an interview between me and filmmaker Neil Gussie. Now, he has 2 documentaries premiering on Rialto Channel, Backs and Beyond on the 21st of August, and The Great 90s Rewind on the 28th of August. He's a very, very cool filmmaker, so go and check out my chat with him as well. We are giving away a whole bunch of goodies for Father's Day over on ViewMag, so head on over to viewmag.co.nz to get your hands on some very cool swag and stuff, and also just keep an eye out because Rialto Channel is also going to be showing the Emmys. Now, the Emmy nominations have just dropped at the time of this recording. It is an interesting lineup, whether you're cheering for, say, The White Lotus or Severance or something a little bit more less kind of popular, but which has managed to sneak in something like Somebody Somewhere, or even a show like Andor, which is my personal favourite of the year. There's a whole bunch of really, really great shows being nominated, and it's going to be a really, really fun show. So check that out over on Rialto Channel. That is our show for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Tom Augustine. I will see you next month with more movie discussions, more reviews, and more info for your movie-going month. Please check out my reviews, Tom's review, over on viewmag.co.nz. Ka kite.